So I am passing this card element. Now, what is this card element? I have showed you guys. Okay. See, we are getting this section, right? So if I want to see, I have passed card element. So if I have so it knows what card element is. This is the element that will be passing inside its card update card. So let me call this update card with our arguments, which in this case will be LM. Name, I am writing Alicia. Role, I am your instructor. And this is bio is like session, what it was. It was teachers fe-2, right? Okay. Cool. I have passed this. Let me get inside this function and just nothing special, just console of what I am getting. LM, just to be so that everyone understand what I am actually doing. While invoking, it should have card element in the past argument, right? Yes, I have passed the card element. See, I have gotten the card element. I have passed. Okay, sorry, it's not LM. It's yeah. This should be the card element. Name, role, and bio. Okay. Simple. Let's just console log. Nothing else. Let me comment it out. See what we are getting. We are getting, okay, that's a huge object. Let me console log. See what we are getting. We're getting a section card. We're getting Alicia. We're getting instructor and teachers fe. Just simple arguments passed, right? So what I would like to do, I would like to change it. Now someone, okay, let me charge my, sorry. It's very sorry for that. Wait, so someone has done this. Let me share that code. I'll write it, but see what we have done. We have, so what did we get? We got the section card, right? It has children. Now, if I like to access the children, how would I check? Let me console.log. So every time what you are getting, try to play around with this object, right? Then you will get an idea that what are the things you need to change, what are the stuff you need to update. And this comes very handy on longer run. Okay, why am I saying this? See, we are getting an HTML collection. Now, how to convert an HTML collection? So we do array. You have done array, right? Yeah, we can get, okay, interesting way. What we could have done, we could have converted this ln.children to an array, which we are getting an HTML collection, right? HTML collection, we could have converted array. The initial element would be h1, second element would be h3, and we would access every element. So let me quickly do that. I'll convert this array.com, not console log. Okay, sorry. Makes sense. What we would get? Let's console log that. What am I doing wrong? Okay. You're getting 3. So array.com. Exactly. But nice usage of tag by name. I really love it. So let's say I declare const h1 tag equals to array element dot 0 because we are getting h1, right? And then we would write h1 tag dot text content. I guess it was text content, right? Yeah, I changed the text content to whatever we had, right? Name, h1 tag. In similar way, I would write copy and paste. This is the h1 tag. What we are getting, h3 tag and p tag. Okay? And this will be 1 and 2. Text content to be named h3 tag dot text content to be role bio p tag dot text content to be bio. See that? Hopefully it should update. See, it's updated, right? Everyone got what I did? Plus one. Everyone plus one in the chat if you understand what I did. Great. Now there is another very good solution that someone wrote. I think it was more here, right? So what the person did, he got this get element by tag name. So since we already know that we have like one HTML, H1, one H3, one P available inside the element that we are getting, he just directly got that and converted into array and made the text content. But yeah, get elements by tag name, that use case was great. Everyone understand this code as well, or any doubts in that? Let me create a divider. Yes, plus one in the chat if you understand this code as well. This was written by Google, I guess. But yeah, great. Plus one, great. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Let me comment that out. In these divisions. And we'll move on our session. Okay. Section let's move along. Okay. So now we need to create new elements in doc. So earlier what we did, whatever element was already present inside our document, we just fetched it, right? But let's say I want to create a new, like I want to add Mohanty to it. Or let's say I want to create something new element I want to create, and I want to show that inside the doc. How would we do that? So there are two functions called as create element. Actually, I guess this activity should be posted, but sorry for that. But yeah, let's get comfortable. How do we create an element? We would write document.create element, which would create a new node with the given tag, and we modify the inner HTML for this created element, which I apparently did. I guess that's what we went across. Let's try our hands on it and use case. Like here, we'll try to, instead of changing the text content, we'll try to change the inner HTML, okay? Copy paste. Hope that makes sense. I have created a div. Let me write something, div dot. Now anyone, up until now, can anyone see what's the primary difference between, which I told you in previous session, what is the difference between inner HTML and text content? Please write that in the chat. I would love to know what you guys think, or remember at least. No one is writing, no one knows. Okay, it's taking some time. Sorry. What is the difference between an inner HTML and now we have no. Let me console that. No. Exactly. So what inner HTML does, it along with the text content, whatever it's written, it shows us the entire HTML with the tag itself. Whereas text content only shows us the text that is available, not any tags, not how it's written inside H1 or P1. It does not care. It just shows us all the text that is there, right? So if I console.log div, what I would get? Any guesses? Division, right? Division object, right? So if I want now, okay, let me come back to this slide. Where is my slide? Okay, did I close my slide? I'm so sorry for that. I guess I slides. Okay. Okay, sorry for that. I did not realize I closed it. Cool. So we. No. I should have opened it somewhere. But yeah, you're right. So we have created this division, right? So, okay, it's there. We have created this division and we have changed the content itself. Not content, actually the inner HTML. Now we want to show that inside our HTML render, whatever is HTML render, like we want to show it that in the browser. How do we do that? We have just written something in JavaScript, right? We need to make that change reflect in the HTML file. And how would we do that? There are certain functions that will help us do that. So we have prepend, before, after, and append functions, which actually what it does, it would, prepend or append, it would attach this element that we have created from dynamically in JavaScript to the body of this document. Okay. Now how it does, see, to make the divisions show up, we need to insert it somewhere into document, right? There's a special append. Now what append, prepend, before and after does, I'll quickly show you. Let me quickly grab that video. Okay. Let me create the UI. Okay, I'm very bad at shortcuts. Okay. I'm writing some random names. Ramo, Hari, and Sita. Now I want to give it an ID or ID1. Give that an ID too. Okay. Now we have done something. Now I want to append it. Okay. I want to check what append does. Now I would let me fetch this element. Let the one equals to document dot get element by ID. It was the one, right? It was okay, it's not division actually, it's UL1. I have given the ID1. Yeah. And let me show you what UL1 is. Okay, makes sense. Now I want to write something like UL1 dot append The what did it show? What did it do? Can anyone guys show? Okay, yeah, sure. Sure. No. What did it do? Can anyone say? So let me show you my code. I appended to ID1. Where is ID1? Where is ID1? ID1 is here. It's the UL, right? So it appended to the very last, like after Sita, right? Like this is where UL completes, but just before UL, it appended it. Make sense? Make sense? Can you please open the element tab? Yeah, sure. Okay. I guess this might come very handy then, since we are using also console. Does it make sense? Left hand side. This is the element, right? If you want, I can show you the elements itself and show you the JavaScript material. So what I did, I created a division which has inner content of like hello everyone. I appended it to the element ul1. Now where is ul1? ul1 is like it's the parent of Rama Hari Sita, right? So it's present. So what did the append do? Append just appended it just before ul completes and just after the contents of ul finishes. Make sense? +1 in the chat if you understand, guys, what appended. Similarly, we have some functions, prepend. Now prepend would, what it would do, it would attach this HTML element in just before the contents have actually started. So let's say I have written ID1, so it would write here. Okay? Like all the strong content would have gone here and it would showcase something like hello everyone, Rama Hari Sita. In that way, if we write before and after, it would have written something like this. Like just before, if I write before, right? So it would have created that element just before UL has been declared. And similarly for after the closing tag of UL. Make sense? Great, guys. Everyone understand. So everyone got a clear understanding of Everyone got a clear understanding of how to insert DOM elements by using before, prepend, and after. Try to visualize it. Like this image would make much sense for this concept. Okay? Okay? Yeah. Great. So many +1. I'm really happy to see that. Everyone is understanding. So yes, we have, okay. This activity should have been below it. I have created before. Sorry for that. But guys, yes, I want you to start coding. This is an activity. So what this activity says, use this starter code. I'm copy pasting this starter code inside the chat so that everyone can use it. So what you have to write, the way we wrote update, right? In the previous function, update card, we need to write an add function, which should take parent element child tag, which should be, child tag as in p, div, strong, anything like the tags, right? In string format, and a text. Oh, where did it go? And text. And it would add a new child to the parent with given child tag and text. So what it would do, it would add this child element. It would create, write a function to add a new child element to the parent with the given. So this would be the parent. It would append, add this child element just before this. So which function you're like, try to write this content here, whatever you have written, like whatever text I'll be passing. Just create a child tag, append this text, and then show me here, like something here. Which function would you use? And show me the code. These are the two prior things I want you to do. I hope it makes sense, right? Everyone understand the question? No, anyone has doubt, like was not able to understand the question, 0 in the chat. Who has understand it, start coding, guys. I'll probably give you 5 minutes for this as well. Zero in the chat if you don't understand the question. No zeros, yes. Okay. That's great. Okay, I'll show this. This function definition also I'm pasting it. Okay, once you are done, paste your code inside this chat window or else send the link to the code sandbox. Today we are having many activities, guys. So I hope everyone is equally excited as me to try their hands on, break something, then learn from that mistake, keep on coding, and finally reach the destination. That will be great. Don't get afraid to start, because at least not get afraid to like even make mistakes. Mistakes will happen. But yeah, that's the learning process, right? Trying out things is what matters. Mistakes will come and go. You learn from your mistakes. Mistakes are equally important as success. What to add? Okay, you need to create a child. You need to create an element with this children tag that I'll pass. So let's say, where is my? How it will take. So what is this? Add. Okay, so it will take. So it will take an lm that we have created, a p and text. So it would create a paragraph having this text content and it would append to this element. And how I want it to show, where is this? Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I want to do. And this lm should be this HTML file, right? That I have pasted. ID lm, yes. You can get that lm and pass the element, or you can take lm, the ID itself. But according to the question, you are passing this parent. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So the content should, ideally I would actually take a li, not p. So because I want to append it to it. And this content should be here. Okay. What I have, hello, let's say append here, and it should be here, so that it gets rendered before, which tag we need to use. We can pass any tags, but ideally this scenario, I would pass li tag. Li. Okay, I just need to close this. Child tag, right? Which tag we need to add? Li or something? Yeah, li, p, anything, but assume I'm passing a li. Okay. Is everyone done with the question? Like, has anyone solved it yet? Please paste your code in the chat, right, guys? Anyone completed it yet? Class 1 in the chat, you have completed, or paste the code. Anyone facing any difficulty in understanding and at least, ideating how to solve this? I feel this question is pretty straightforward for what we did already. Guys? Anything, any response? Last one in the chat if you understand the question. Okay. Well, 2 people understand the question. Why? So it's 31 participants, 30 participants. Okay. Yeah, people understand the question. Do you guys need anyone solved it yet? I guess if anyone. Okay, I'll give you 2 more minutes. Then, okay, 2 minutes. Okay. I'll start a 2 minutes timer, then I'll stop. See someone there happy is here. Other folks who have not completed, please try this right now. Let me know if you are facing any difficulty. I'll post this, I'll try it out. And hopefully, yeah. Brilliant. Virtual high five to Yogesh. You did pretty good. Yes, that is what I was expecting. Anyone else there in Code Sandbox? I'd love to see their response as well. Please share Code Sandbox link, guys, or copy paste the code that you have written. That would also be okay. I'll wait for a minute. Okay. I feel it's high time. Wow, someone copy pasted this. Yes, that's great. Yeah. Wow, so many people are doing it. Happy to see the results, guys. Okay, what am I not for? Please. Okay. Yeah, simple. Yes. That's right. Great. Okay, we're done. So let me cancel out. Let me idea how I'm doing it. We have written card not add. Someone wrote exactly what I was planning to. We would pass LM, we would pass child tag. For everyone who did it, great job, guys. For people who have not solved it yet, please look at your window and see what I'm writing. Okay, so what I would do, I would create a LM, right? So I'm passing this LM, child LM. That will be makes sense. So how would we create document dot create element, which we learned right now. Create element. Then there's this child tag, right? Created the child element. Now we need to write the text content inside that child element. So child element dot text content. Okay. Is the text here. And then we want to append it. How would we append it? lm dot append child. What was the ID that I passed? LM. Okay, actually, yeah, it's kind of right, Akshay. But what we are getting, we are getting the parent element itself. We are not getting the parent element ID. So you don't need to get element ID. by parent because we are getting parent itself, right? Time. Okay, what did I do? Child. Okay, I passed an LM. Let me troubleshoot it. Console dot. Okay, I did not save that HTML file. That should be the case. Okay. Sped. I guess I should have prepinned it according to docs. Yes. So the function that, like, logically I wanted that he to be there, right? So what I would use prepend. Make sense? Make sense, everyone? +1 in the chat if you understand what I did. +1 in the chat. Should be. Cool. Exactly. Print child. Okay. Yeah. You have created children. It's okay. That comes handy. This use case was to insert it into the document, right? That was the use case. Okay. Cool. That's great. Let's move on. +1. So many +1. So happy to see +1. Okay. Now we would delete nodes. Okay. Now we have created nodes. Let's say there is in our HTML file, there is some node that I want to delete it. Let's say, for example, when we log in into a site and we are seeing login and sign up, right? When we log in, we don't see it any sign up. We just see, and the login button also vanishes out. We have only log out, right? So in that case, assume we want to delete this button element itself. How do we do that? Button is also an element, right? So we have this method called as node.remove, which would remove that element from the entire document. Make sense? Make sense? Make sense. Hopefully it should make sense. Let me try that out. And then this out. Document.getElement ID. We would pass, what was the ID? LM, right? I want to remove that entire LM. Just let me store that inside LM. Now LM dot remove. So we won't be able to see something. What did I do? Okay, I can't do this. Make sense? Make sense? We don't see the entire, because we removed it, right? We don't ordered list, we are not able to see because we removed it. Makes sense? Let me create that. +1 in the chat if you understand this problem. Like how to remove element, how to remove a node from the document. Cool. There's another activity, not many activities I told you guys. So I want you to create a function, generate sorted list, which would take an array. Now, array in the case 25, 58, anything. And what that generate sorted list would do, it should display something like this on the screen. It would sort that entire, like the list, and show it in li format. So so we have already declared this add thing, right? We can use this add function to create a generate sorted list, which would, what the generate sorted list would do, it would take this, array into account, sort it, and it would create element after sorting it to take individual element, create an li, and append it into this sorted list. Make sense? Little complicated, but I hope it's clear. So I want something like this. So what it's taking an array, right? So for individual arrays, it would first sort the array, one thing. After sorting, it would take all of this like for loop, use for loop to fetch an individual array element, create an li, and add it to the DOM. Make sense? Plus one in the chat if you understand. Plus one. Zero if you don't understand. I'll explain it again. Zero in the chat if you don't understand. Yeah, we can remove one child as well. Like, we just need to pass which child we pass. For example, remove their entire child, right? If I want to remove this hello, I would have gotten this hello by, let's say, first child of this lm and then remove that child. I just need that every node has a property remove, right? I just need to get this node hello and then call remove on that, and then it would be removed from the DOM. Okay, let me. It's gonna take some time. If you complete it, it would be my achievement. But yeah, guys, I'll give you 5 minutes time. At least idea it, guys. Like, how do you solve it? If you are able to picturize, how to frame that function, when to call add, how to sort it. Okay, for sort, there is a handy function that you can use called as array.sort. I'll share you that. But yeah, at least vaguely define the function, write instructions like what you should be doing. Even the skeletal structure of that function would be, helpful for you and me as well, that you understand. Try to break the problem, okay? Next one. What's next one? You got to do li1 li1 dot text element. What are you doing? Yeah, it seems you have understood it now. Next one is welcome to li is document of create element. It's there. Li, yes. So we should have created this li inside this function because we are taking li. Okay, we're passing it should work. Right? Okay, console. So you're saying it's not working. Is it so? Created console. Okay, it should work then. Okay, next one passing text. Console. Child. Console. Okay. Where are your comments? अरे यार तुमने डायरेक्ट इंडेक्स डॉट इसमें खोला है. You need to go to session 4 /index. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm getting the color. अच्छा टेक्स्ट कंटेंट में methods के लिए it's capital content. Yes, the method name text content that okay. So Bharat, what actually happened? The text content method that you are calling, you are writing small c, so it was not calling text content. Okay, that's why. If you check right now, okay. Okay, give me a second, guys. So someone asked me this down. So what was happening? I'll like to share. Like, okay, let me tell you what it was happening. Someone wrote this in this format. So what happens? I check like what's my troubleshooting process, and I would like all of you guys to even follow the similar step. When you see nothing is showing up, right? What you should check, whatever arguments that you're passing, are they correct? If it is so, console log everything. If it's like try to debug at every step what you're doing. So what actually wrong was that the text content method, right? It was wrong. Okay, the name convention was wrong. That's why it was not calling the text content. So when I change the text content, it's showing right now. So at every step, try to console log individual elements like what you are dependent on and figure out what's causing issue, where at which step it's causing issue. Then you will be able to, get through that why it's causing this error. So that's main, like I feel developers should have get this habit of debugging, like consoling at least in JavaScript developers. I would really suggest you to console log at every moment if you're having any issue to figure out what is causing the issue. That would really come high. Okay. Now the problem is solved. Okay. Yes. Guys, anyone was able to, you're welcome. Bharat. Yeah. So anyone was able to solve this, like at least get started? Will code it. Yeah, someone did. Okay. Sorry, that question, Anisha. Let me quickly do this question here. Yep. Okay. Is this the sandbox, right? I can define. Is it true? Today's session 4, while we were doing in session 3, 5. Okay. Apart from that, session 3 slash. Hey, that's great. Great. Whoever did that, Yogesh, great job. Are you using that add function? Yes, absolutely. That's what I wanted, right? Great job. Anyone was able to do? This is what doing. Yes, I'll give you 2 more minutes to finish. Then we will run through that problem, okay? Someone please tell me to check now. Okay. hope everyone under it. I am changing the screen. I hope everyone got enough time to do this question. It's getting a little tough for me to handle multiple things at once or so. Something went wrong. What did it do? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Question 4. Okay, why do I not see? Did I miss something? Can you paste the HTML code as well? Okay, I missed it. Bisujit, can you paste the HTML part as well? Okay, sure, hold on. Generate sorted list, open that. Please code from scratch. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll check your code, Bisujit, later. Let me code it, okay? Yes, I'll code it for you guys. I don't require this. I will require the next one. Okay, so okay. So where's our problem? The problem statement is why my windows are jumping. Okay. Sorry for that. Okay. Let me uncomment this part because we already know it. So what it is asking, we need to create a function generate sorted list, okay? Sorted list. Nothing you want to say something. Okay, it would take an array and it would return us something, right? So what that array be? Let me call generate sorted list on an array. What it is given? 25, 28, 51, 0, 7. Let this array be. Now, okay. Simple statement. We know that what we are getting, right? So this is the array. Confirm it. Console.log. Just to confirm. We'll get array, right? So what we are doing, we need to sort this array first. So let's call array has this sort function. Now console log that same array. Let's see what is happening because we need to sort it first, right? Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, it's the same one. Yeah. You're getting an array. It's sorted. No, it's not sorted. Okay. So actually sort function takes a comparator. Yeah. It did not sort, I guess. That's yeah, it's sorted. So nothing is it suggested me, right? Don't focus on what this is. It actually is a comparator which it takes. But yeah, if you write this, it would sort the array ascending order, right? So we have got our array in ascending order. As we can print, as you can see that we did, okay? Now what I want to traverse each element from this array. So what I would do, I would create a for loop for let I equals to 0, I less than array dot length. Everyone comfortable with arrays, right? Array plus this. For every element of this array, what do we want? We want to create something, right? So let me document dot create. Okay, what we need to pass? Okay, let me create a division for index original. Okay, sorted list ID equals to. I want to write it, right? So let me create a sorted list division, and I would append or create child element to this. So I would, okay, parent. Parent equals to document get element by ID. I got this parent. I need to append to this parent, right? So let it not be a div, let it be a UL. It is done in this sense. Oh. Which makes sense. Now I need to add. I need to call this add, right? So in this add, I need to pass this lm. This lm is the parent lm, right? So it gets lm prepend. Okay. Parent, which we have passed. Then we are passing li. What should be text content? It should be array of I. Okay. Let's see what does this do actually. Prepend. Right? Pass my parent, right? Okay. Let me console log. What did add function do? Let me just quickly check and confirm. And it took a parent element, right? Yes, it should work. Let me quickly confirm why it's not working. Console log parent. Parents, it's right. It should print parent equal set, but I'm passing it right. Okay. I have not saved it. Okay. What it did, it pre-pinned before that. So what I will do, makes sense. Should make sense. Does that make sense, guys? What I did, I just called on parent. I got this. Why did I take parent? So this has to go somewhere, right? How would I insert? So I just created a UL within ID and I declared it as parent. I passed that parent and an LI. And this array is element. Array element will be text content, right? And voila, you see array console. Make sense? Say +1 in the chat. Okay, 3 people. Great. Everyone understand? If you don't understand, 0, 0, 0. I want to see if there are any zeros. I'll make you understand once again. Wait, whoever asked me to Akshay. Akshay, I coded from scratch. Does it make sense? Akshay? Yes, cool. let's move on. I hope everyone is getting comfortable with creating, deleting, appending notes into the. Okay. We are short. Like okay, it's clear. I'll check if the errors still persist. I'll check at the end of the session. Okay, this is it. Where is my slide? Okay. Now, interesting topic. Now, has anyone ever baked cake before? Arrow sign and side sort. It's an arrow function, right? Are you not comfortable with arrow? Like functions can be declared using arrows, right? Like similar way. Is not comfortable. Like const u equals to. This is how we can create a function as well. Function. Yeah. I'll tell you about arrow functions later, but yeah. Where we were. Has anyone baked cake before? My tongue is slipping. Yes or no? That's a very interesting question and out of JavaScript context. But then, has anyone? Yes. Great. So these are the steps that we have briefly, said. So for making cake, we prepare the batter. We grease on the tin, right, which goes inside the microwave. Then after greasing it with oil or whatever oily thing we do it, or butter, I guess we do that with butter, right? Then we pour the batter in the tin. We bake the cake for around 20 minutes. Now, when it's baking, do we move on, prepare the icing, or we actually wait for the 20 minutes to get completed? Because to which thing I will be applying ice? I need my cake to get baked. After that, I'll apply the icing, right? Or if the icing will melt and my cake would not have been ready. So I need to wait, right? Does that make sense, guys? So while baking a cake, I just need to wait for 20 minutes before I move on to the further steps. Now, after the cake has baked and we have prepared the icing, now we apply the icing on the cake. And after applying the ice, we don't directly bug on and keep eating it. We make it freeze so that the icing does not melt out. So we freeze it for an hour and then we eat the cake. Simple steps, right? So from this example, what I actually want you to understand is that we won't apply icing on the cake if the cake isn't ready. What we do, we follow the steps one by one, isn't it? Yes, meanwhile we'll do something else, but nothing related to the cake, right? So we need to wait for it. If we have to do any other task, we cannot do related to the cake, but yeah, other tasks we can do. But then we have to wait for it, right? So what happens, this is exactly what synchronous programming is. So after one task gets completed, we hop on to the other task. We cannot go directly to the last task, or we cannot implement the other steps without the previous steps getting completed. So this is for cake. But let's say, okay, I hope this example makes sense. Does that example make sense? What synchronous is, like one step at a time, and we have to wait before move. Like we have to wait so that the previous steps actually get completed. Then only we move on, right? Plus one in the chat if you understand what this cake example is. No one is adding plus one. You won't understand this cake example. Only Vishpapriya I understand. Plus one in the chat, guys. Why are you not responding? Feedback is really important for me in order to proceed on. I want you guys to understand, right? So yes. So JavaScript is actually a synchronous language, but we don't actually see. For example, let me go to a site. What site? Okay. We know Times of India. So while we're traversing, okay, this is okay. So as you can see, when we are traversing it something, or we are hovering on it, all the other functionalities work, right? It gets rendered. Then we see this ad getting popped on. Then this video is getting played. It's not like, okay, if we are doing some task, it's actually waiting for that task to get completed and then it will show. It's simultaneously many things are doing, right? So how does this happen when JavaScript is synchronous language? So we have browser. Browser provides us a lot many APIs. So the browser has several components working together to make a web page functional and also update the UI. Everything inside the browser is actually part of a single process and happens synchronously. As I said, JavaScript is a synchronous programming language, right? Since there is only one process handling everything, if there is a piece of code that blocks it, then it might crash. Assume we are having only single task and it's blocking, okay? And if that task is taking for, let's say, 5 seconds to complete, so unless and until this task gets completed, like the baking cake, right? Unless and until the cake is baked, we won't be able to ice it, right? So if we have like some task taking all the resources and it's taking a lot of time, it would crash our browser, right? So in order to avoid that, what browser provides us? Browser provides us with our additional superpowers, okay? These are called web APIs, which are part of this global window object like console, DOM APIs, etc., etc. So what I want you guys to understand is that this browser API, these functionalities make this JavaScript language, which being asynchronous, being able to do multiple tasks simultaneously. So browser provides us this superpowers plus JavaScript browser making multiple tasks. Does that make sense, guys? What I'm trying to say, does everyone get what I'm trying to say? Like browser provides us with this web APIs, which is like called the magical powers, which in addition to JavaScript makes it do a lot many tasks. Yes. Well, I'll come on to that topic, but I want you guys, let's not hop into all those complicated terms, but does everyone understand how this is happening? Yes. So, okay. We will not hop into in detail of browser events. Before that, let me tell you about this very interesting function, set timeout. Has anyone ever used before set timeout? Wait, let me create a bracket. Has anyone used set timeout before? Yes, only one person. Okay, Miss Sujit and Bharat has said. Anyone? No. Yes. You can write no, right? If you don't know, well, like you have not used, why no one is writing? Please write, guys. I want this chat window, to burst out and pop. Like it's a crash over there. Itna type karo. I'm not making sense, but yeah. I want you to be super interactive, okay? Okay, no, it's okay. So what set timeout is, it's a very handy function in JavaScript, which actually takes a callback. Okay, now everyone knows what a callback is. I'll quickly recap you what a callback is, but before that, does anyone know okay, let me frame the question in this way. How many people does not know callbacks? I guess people should know. Type of function. Yeah, it's type of a function. Okay, so callback is a function which takes an argument as another function and calls it inside that body. Only slight idea. Okay. Yeah. So before I really want you to understand what set timer does, let me take 2 minutes and make you understand with a simple example what callback does, and so that you get a quick idea of what callback is. Okay? Yeah. Is that okay if I give an example? Okay, we have time. We have 2 minutes. Okay, let me give you a brief example of callback. We have a function, let's say with prefix, with currency prefix, okay? For people who don't have an idea about callback, please use this time to understand what, like at least, have a vague picture in your mind that what callback does. So you have a function called with currency prefix. What it does, it return result equals to it callback. So callback is actually a function. So I'll pass a function inside it. It would just call back. It would just call the callback function and whatever the callback is returning, it would store inside that result and print the result. Okay. Simple. Okay, that callback should take value. Okay. So this is a callback is a function which is taking val as an argument. Let me create this function. Okay. Let me create two another functions which will be passed an argument for callback called as rupee. Okay. So what it would take a value. Try to picturize it, guys. It would return rupee symbol. Rupee symbol plus value. Simple function. And another function called as dollar. Okay. What it does, it also takes a value. Sorry. And it will return. We have dollar symbol, right? Yeah. Dollar plus value. Okay. That should be. Plus. Okay. Makes sense. Now when I call this, okay. Now let me call this with function prefix. Pass in, let's say 10, and pass this rupee. Okay. Does this make sense, guys, when I write that? Dollar. Where is it? Here. See, can you guys see my code? See what it is doing? We got rupees 10 and rupees 100. So what this callback did, it took a function, rupee, which takes in value, right? So when we were calling callback, we passed value, right? This value came and it appended rupee before that. Similarly, the way we are handling this function will be called as a callback. Makes sense? +1 in the chat if it does. +1 in the chat if it makes sense. Like, okay. Only 1 + 1. Please, guys, please. कितनी बार please बोलो, please थोड़ा interactive, like interaction करने की कोशिश करो, okay? That really helps me. The set timeout method is provided by the browser for us to queue tasks to be executed after a given time. So what the set timeout does, it would take a function as an argument, which is a callback, and it would second argument, it would take some milliseconds, per se 2 seconds. If I want to take, I'll pass 2000 milliseconds. Okay. Now what it does, the function will be queued to be executed after 200. So if let's say, where is that? Okay. Let me declare a set timeout. I hope this callback thing got solved. Let me create a set timeout. Set timeout. What it will take? It will take a function. Okay. So for people who are not comfortable using arrow function, so we can write similar the way we are writing this function ABC. This, it's very similar to this const ABC. This is very similar, okay? So I'm using arrow functions instead here. So don't get confused for that, okay? So what this function is taken, okay, see, you can write function as well, arrow function as well. I am writing arrow function, you can feel free to use function keyword as well. So it would, okay, let me just console log my name. Okay. Okay. This Session 2. Session 4. Okay. Okay. See, what happened? After 1 second, this is session 4 got printed out. If I write 5 seconds, I mean 5000 milliseconds, refresh it, nothing is right. Nothing is there. Welcome to session 4. Voila. After 5 seconds, this is coming. So what the set timeout does, it will take a callback. It will execute the callback after 5000 or greater than equal to 5000 seconds. Does that make sense, guys? Like, whatever I have written just console log, whatever this function inside had, it would just execute and call this function. Make sense, guys? Make sense? The set timer does not invoke exactly after given number of milliseconds, but it takes at least, so I told you, right, greater than equal to 5000. So depending on what are the tasks are already being executed, so it would take 5000, minimum 5000 seconds to get executed if I'm passing 5000. Make sense? Okay. So yes, the set timeout takes into account a callback, which is a function, right? And milliseconds method, when invoked, must run the following steps. So what are the following steps? It would first wait 5000 milliseconds to execute it. Okay. And queue a task, run the following step, invoke callback. So if we don't have any statement getting executed, then what it would do, it would instantly call this callback function, right? And if we are like, we don't have any tasks running, right? And when it has already completed 5000 milliseconds, it would execute instantly. Like just after this, we did not have any code, right? So just after 5 milliseconds, it printed this is session 4. Makes sense? The callback function could be anything we pass in argument. Exactly. So it's generally a function. That function get called after 5000 milliseconds or whatever millisecond which have passed. In this instance, 5000. Make sense? How callback is related to synchronous? It is not. It's not synchronous. It's. Well, the backend is kind of a little complicated, but for now, what you can understand from it is after 5000 milliseconds, it would, if we don't have any other task, then it would instantly call this callback function, and whatever is there inside the callback function, it would execute it, right? And so it would take 5000 greater, more than 5000 seconds or exactly 5000 seconds, depending on whatever task is running. Or make sense? It's not synchronous. It's not related to synchronous. I'm not sure what you are trying to ask. But up until now, what set timeout does, everyone getting clear? We have a quick for you to understand. It's kind of, it might seem like a little tricky, but once you do this example, I hope like when you try your hands on, it would be a little more clear. So everyone, guys, I want you guys to do this exercise, which would, give me a second. +1 in the chat. Okay, no, you do it. If you are completed with this task, write +1. Share the code, guys, not +1. If you don't understand what to do, write 0. If you know what to do, paste your answers. It's a simple thing. So what does function actually do? So create a timeout, queue this function to be executed after 1 second. So this is the callback function. Sorry, this is, you should take a callback where inside that callback, you call this show greeting function and register it for 1000 milliseconds. Make sense? You would be calling this show greeting inside that callback function. Make sense, guys? Yeah, sure. Sorry. Anyone completed it? It's simple, guys. Isn't it simple? Did anyone complete it? Please feel free to write 0 if you don't understand. I'll explain it to you. I'll write the code, but then I want you guys to try it on yourself and see if you are able to, solve this question. Okay, so basically what you need to do, you need to create a callback function, right? So declare a function, right? Inside that, call show greeting, okay? Does that make sense? Show greeting should be called inside that callback function. So you need to create a function inside that call show greeting. Don't pass show greeting. Okay? Yeah, show greeting also, I guess, would work. Let me check. I would do that in that one. So, yeah, show greeting would also work. Paste it. But how I would suggest, because show greeting is something. Yeah, show greeting would work. Generally what actually happens, we have multiple functions. Let's say we have to call multiple functions and we want to register all those multiple call functions, right? So we would write an executor function. Inside that, we would call everything that we want to execute. That's generally how we do it. But yeah, your code actually will be okay. Where is my... Okay. What is that? What do you have done? Okay. Okay, how does it know what Srini is? Srinivas? There's some 5,000. Let's return. Yeah. How would it know? So what actually you should have done, you should have called this show greeting inside it. Tell me how did... Let's go. Let me check. Okay. Yeah. Is your code working, Srinivas? What you have written? Did you try out? Check on there. Let's not check it. Where it not run? It should work. Yep, it's working. Yeah, that works. No, mine working. Action. No, it should not work. Action. Yes, mine working. Oh, exactly. It's not working. Decision. What did you use decision? Seconds. You have given 15 seconds. You have given 15,000 seconds. Yes. Yes. Why is that? So if you write 5,000, does it actually wait for 5,000? That's fine. Why? Okay. Now what I asked you, okay. So what happens, Okay, let me take that question. Everyone is facing that. So instead of calling, I'll give you a very good use case of this as well. I have tried my hands on it. It's not mine. That is mine. Yeah. Is this mine? This is not mine. Okay. Yeah. So what happens, because what I asked you guys, what you should have written, let me get that quick. So the show greeting is a function, right? So I'm writing set timeout, and I asked you to write a function. I want you to call that function inside this executor function. Okay. So what you should have done, and why it's not causing giving the exact answer, I'll tell you that as well. So if I would have written, let's say let me write it in 5 seconds. Okay, where is my session? Okay, let it be session. Okay. It's not printing edition. Waiting for 5 seconds. So what actually you did, okay? Instead of passing show greeting to this callback function, you called it instantly. So what happened, when set timeout actually got executed, instead of, okay, so why do we push this method call inside this executor function is that after 5 seconds, this method gets called, right? So let's say this is a function ABC, and this anonymous function actually, which is it get called. So when it get called, show greeting will be called which will be like after 5,000 seconds. But most of you, okay, am I audible? Yes, I am audible. So what most of you did, instead of writing inside an executor function, you called it directly, right? So what happened? Instead of registering this function after 5 seconds, when it encountered set timeout, it directly called them. Okay. Okay. See? Okay. Can you do without arrow function? Yes, yes, sure. Okay. Function. I guess we can write anonymous function to this. Okay. No. Okay, yes, we can write anonymous function. So this is how this function is. This is an anonymous function. And what it will do, refresh it. It's waiting for 5,000 seconds, 5,000 milliseconds, and printing it. So every time, what I want you guys to know is that whenever you are trying to, don't call this function instantly. You should be passing this, you should be calling or whatever you want to do that inside this function, okay? So that whenever this function actually gets executed, so this anonymous function gets registered for this set timeout. After 5,000 milliseconds, this function gets called. When this function gets called, show greeting will always be called, right? Well, real project, you won't actually use it that much, but then sometimes, let's say, so what I have actually used, set timeout. Okay, so when I have, this can be a real life scenario. Okay, so for example, I'm logging in and I want to log you out, or at least check if the person has like correct validation details and etc. So okay, so when we log in, we have like a token registered for it, and let's say after 1 hour the token expires. If the user is already signed in, we can create a set timeout. Okay, after 1 hour, check the token is still valid or not. If it's still valid, then continue, or else if it's not valid, log that user out. Does that make sense? Like this can be a real life application where we actually registered a function which does something after that many time. So this 5,000 ki jagah, we will be passing 1 hour time. Does that make sense? This video? Okay, seems like, okay, everyone got. So first, what everyone did, similar mistake, calling directly show greeting. Now what actually happened, instead of this show greeting rating registered to be executed after 5,000 seconds, whenever it encountered the set timeout, it directly called it instead of registering it. So instead of actually seeing this line to get executed, like hello Alicia, after 5,000 milliseconds, you could see it instantly. Does that make sense, guys? +1 in the chat if it does. And where, like, how you should write your function call. Write it inside this executor function, okay? Executor, the entire function will get registered. And when the entire function gets called, this show greeting will be called. Because we are already calling show greeting, right? So when this function call will be happening, show greeting will be called, and after 5 seconds, you will get the result instead of quickly seeing it whenever the set timeout is executing. Make sense? Make sense? Okay, this we did. Okay, we have like 10 minutes to do. I guess we will start with promises in the later section. Today, let's wrap up with this activity. So I'll paste you this code. Tell me what's the output and why it is so. Okay. I'm pasting this code right there. Everyone understood? We'll start promises next class. We have it quite much, but yeah. Did I photo? Okay, sorry. So I want you guys to predict the output, what I have pasted in the chat window, and tell me, okay, you know the output, and tell me, reason me out why it is so. Yes. Can anyone say why it is so? Vishwajit pasted the answer, but then, okay, I guess, yeah.
The first line is console not getting started, so it will print as it is. It's still a function getting declared, but
Your voice is kind of very muffled. It's coming. Can you make it a little clear?
It's clear.
Okay. Yeah. Continue, Vishwajit.
So you can see the first line is console not getting started, right?
Yes.
So it will print as it is now.
Yes.
Then it will see the function declared as show greeting, but it doesn't call. I mean, it doesn't any invoke anywhere. So it will come to next part console.log greeting Rohan, right?
We have greetings greetings end as well. You haven't pasted that. So where do you think in your answer where this greetings end? So what would be the sequence of getting start, hello Rohan, and greetings end?
First will be greeting start, then it will be greeting Rohan. Then after that it's hello Rohan, then greeting end.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's try that out then. So your greetings end.
So Alisha, I think it will be a greeting start, then greeting Rohan, then greeting end, and then hello Rohan, because we have given that set timeout function.
Exactly. Okay, let's do that. Anyone wants to tell about their what they find, like if their answers varies from what we have already discussed right now, like what these people have told. Greetings start, greetings end, hello Rohan. But there is also greetings end. Okay, greetings start, greetings end, greeting. There are 4 statements, right? Greetings start, greetings Rohan, greetings end, hello Rohan. Everyone is writing 3. Why? I forgot this. No, same answer. Okay. Greetings start, greetings end, hello Rohan. Okay. Where will this greeting Rohan would come, Mohit?
First it would be greeting start, then greeting Rohan, greeting ends, and then
hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hello? What? Hello Rohan, right?
Yeah, in the end it will be hello Rohan.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do that out, okay? Let me prepare this thing. See? For people who have guessed the right answer, that's me, you have actually said right. So what actually happens, this, okay, first it will check greeting start, greeting, then this show greeting function declaration is there, but it is not getting called anywhere. So it won't touch this function, right? And there is console log greeting Rohan, so greeting Rohan. Then there's a set timeout comes. Now what set timeout did, it registered this show greeting method and said, okay, you get executed after 1000 seconds or so. Okay. So it registered and then the scope came back to this, right? And then the greetings end executed as you expected. After 1000 seconds, when it got completed, we have hello Rohan because this show greeting did that, right? It called show greeting with Rohan name. And in show greeting, it says hello plus Rohan. So it's hello Rohan, exclamation mark, which gets called around after 1000 seconds. Does that make sense, guys? +1 in the chat if it does. Yeah. Okay. I guess we will continue post this next session in our next session. For now, you feel free to share your feedback by filling in this form. Let me know if you guys have any doubt from today's session. We'll continue from promises in Saturday's session, okay? People who don't have any doubt, you can feel free to, like, after filling this feedback form, feel free to leave the meeting. Yeah. Yes, many people understand. Great. I'm very happy to see so many +1. Thank you for quickly replying. That really helps me. At least know what you are understanding so that I could change the pace or I could make this concept a little bit easier for you to understand. Please fill in these feedback form, guys.
So Alicia, I have one question for the same activity.
Okay, yeah.
Can you just show up that same activity?
This one, yeah.
So for example, if in the set timeout function, if we have directly called that show greeting Rohan, just called it, not that anonymous function. So it would have executed normally, right?
Yeah, kind of. Matlab, it actually depends because see, whatever is there inside it, it gets registered, right? So, matlab, you can't say what like this registering takes little much more time or this getting. It might be little bit ambiguous. For some time, it might show greeting earlier and get greetings end later. But then I'm not sure what it is showing. Let me check. Hello, Rohan. Yeah, it's showing something like this. But then the order might change as well. It might show greetings and then hello Rohan after that as well.
But you said like in set timeout function, if we directly call that function, so it won't set timeout won't work. Like if we
yes. It would directly, yeah. But then okay, so what actually happens, when this lines get executed, whatever is there inside this get registered. I won't go through the complexity, but then this function get registered with a timer ticking. Okay, after 1000 seconds, call this function. When this registering time, I'm not sure like how much time it takes, right? It might get executed directly. So it's kind of vague. I won't really suggest you to use it like this because then it does not serve the purpose. But yeah, in this case, it's directly printing hello Rohan. So.
Okay. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Any doubt, guys? If you don't have any doubt, we can fit. That code generate sorted. Okay, yeah, generate sorted. Yes. Paste your code once again. Basically, like the sandbox link. Should I basics and I guess in the very beginning of the session, this is fe-2, like more advanced version of JavaScript. Basics were expected to be covered before that. So even we covered that in fe-1, I guess. Now I'm not sure where, but then the arrow functions and basic functionalities, basic JavaScript concepts were covered earlier. So yeah, I might not be the right person to actually ask this, but we're expecting even during beginning of the session there were certain prerequisites that we asked them to write. Okay, yeah, it was there in JS. Exactly. FP1. Biswajit, share your sandbox link now. People who don't have any doubts, please feel free to leave this meeting. We will continue our sessions. We'll continue our concept in the next session, which is on Saturday. So, bye guys. Take care. People who have doubts, please stay. Okay. So what was happening? Function sort, array dot sort. Okay. This array dot sort is actually not okay. What actually you are having? Thanks, okay. Thanks, Anisha, for reading it out loud. Thanks, Bharat. You're welcome. Bisujit, what is the doubt? You can enable your mic and see what doubt you have.
Hello, Nisha.
Yeah. Hi, Bisujit.
Actually, the
Yeah.
code, I mean, when I look at the question, I understand that we have to create the UL dynamically, right?
Yeah, Hanji.
Node.js. So what I did was I created a node called UL.
UL, okay.
And after that, I pass this node to add element to make it as parent.
Wait, you created the element UL, you have called generate lost before that. Why is that so? Okay. So
Yep.
you have created the element, you have passed this array to this. It's array sort. I feel
It's
this array sort won't work.
It's working. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
After that, I iterate over the array and I'm calling that add function, considering that the UL is the parent which I have already created, right? Now we are dynamically created li and adding text as array.itr.
Okay. So you are saying that since you have created, but then you have created and you have not appended it, right? Where did you append this UL to the DOM?
So I think it should be appended in the body. I mean, by using body.
Yes.
By using body tag, we can append this UL.
So you are trying to say const body equals to document dot body. Yeah, you can directly write body. Body will come. Yes.
Okay.
So after that, you want to try body dot append. Append. Actually, pura last mein karega, right? So yeah, we can do that. Append. We write UL. Yes.
So
then after that,
we created a UL. Now what we will do in this UL, we'll dynamically create li and
yes.
Array elements one by one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
So it's not working?
Yes.
And let's do the question. It should not. Wait. Why I'm writing there? Oh my god. Shit. Okay, sorry. Session 4.
It's capital S.
Okay. Yeah. Session 4. Activity
3. What HTML?
Activity 3.
It's not
showing. Okay. You are looking for initialization. Okay. Okay.
Let's see if that element is created or not in the console. I mean,
where are you taking the body? Okay, you are prepending it after. Okay, I have not suggested that. Let's prepend it. Prepend before, so you don't have any statements. I don't think this is the right way to dynamically. So you know what happens? I feel why this is not working is that you don't know how much time browser takes to render this HTML elements, right? So once you are sure that certain elements are already there and you post it, like for example, if something is already rendered and you prepend it, then it makes sense. You are dynamically created, some things are dynamically created. JS, there might be some slightly microseconds. So before it actually gets rendered into the DOM, the next element is getting stepped, right? And you have already seen that when you try to access body before script tag, it showed null, right? So when you are creating this UL element, and after creating and getting up to the body, this is already checking that already UL है क्या, समझ रहे हो? Like this getting called, right? This is prepending the parent. What is this parent? Parent is in UL. UL has might not be rendered in the UI. So we are trying to render something that is already not rendered in the UI. That's why it's, see, even in the console you can say, right, cannot access UI before initialization. Okay, that might be another reason. Wait, let me check that is what I feel.
I think it's a capital UL. I mean,
okay,
it's capital U.
Hopefully, but yeah, that is, see, conceptually, if you think, right, so this is not something that you should do, which is already rendered. Try to append it to that, right? And that would make more sense, and like you would get expected output. But I guess UL not been initialized. Where I'm accessing UL? Okay, yeah. So why is it accessing here? It should. I guess this should work out, but ideally we should not write parent.append style like that. This should work. Okay, it's working, right? Well, I would not suggest to do it,
Okay,
but
so,
then if you are doing it, it's working, right?
So you're saying that the body is rendered, but the UL is not rendered. So that's what I think.
No. See, this is like, okay, there might come an issue. I would not suggest you to do that. Okay, okay, let's check what the order of lines it's getting executed. Because a function call are not happening. So first it would create an UL element. Mm-hmm. It checks, gets the body, it prepends UL before body, then generate list, right? So why I'm not suggesting, because then when you are prepending, you are rendering it to the DOM, right? And you are adding something to the document, right? You are adding something, parent tag, you're adding li to this UL element, which is already not rendered inside DOM. So I would not suggest you that. Already jo hai, take that actually, execution level mein that makes more sense. But if you are doing it, also it will work. Why it works? Because if it's doing like as it is, body.prepend, what it did, it prepend this UL element. So right now, before this execution starts, we have already UL present in the body. Now, when it's calling generate sorted list, it's adding UL. Give me a second. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, I got some sense. Like यहाँ पे UL पे पहुंच चुका है, rendered हो चुका है.
हाँ, generate sorted list किया call, sort किया उसको, then it added to that UL, right?
But chances ये है कि कभी-कभी ये हो सकता है कि UL rendered नहीं हुआ होगा और हम यहाँ पे li डाल रहे हैं, right?
हाँ. Also, you see li, yeah. That's actually, so it's suggested to already render हो चुका है, but then I feel like this won't arise because at high level, like I'm thinking, I guess the execution order would work. But then I would suggest you to already, जो कि DOM में already हो चुका है, get that ID, okay? Element ID, right? Make sense? Yeah. Okay. So we are done with it out. Anything else? I guess we are also post our time limit. So anything you have, feel free to ask your queries in the next Q&A, upcoming Q&A session. Or else feel free to question in the Slack. I'll find some time to be around. Okay? Thumbs up? This is it? Yeah, cool. Good night. Yes. Chalo, bye. Take care, everyone. We'll meet in our next session. Bye. Bye.
Recording stopped.